Frodan and myself called it an immaculate defense.
An immaculate defense?
Yeah.
It's a good word to use,
Didn't even,
man.
I mean, I obviously did that yesterday, but I had no idea.
That's one of the things, like, when I'm watching Violet, I'm always seeing him defend something that looks a little bit on the harder side to pull off. He's doing really great play, and he's very patient, if you will, into trying to defend anything. And that's, again, just another play by him that made him get to the further end of that tournament. But nonetheless, guys, we are actually in this tournament, the qualifiers here for EU. As mentioned before, we actually have this guy in the bottom left corner from Team Alien Invasion. We were kind of bittering on how we're going to pronounce it. I'd just say it's a little bit more German, so
yeah,
it's be a little bit.
You got to put some bratwurst in here.
Bratwurst and beer, man.
I love German food. I grew up my whole life, man. I had really never had any German food, which is crazy because I'm 50% German.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I just never had any German food. And then we went to actually like it was like Disney World, I think it is. I don't know that there's like Disneyland, Disney World. I don't know the difference, but they had this like absurd German buffet. All these they bring in like interns. The one girl was just so pretty. I'm like, can I go back to Germany with you? But they bring in all these people from Germany, and you know, they have all this German food and stuff. And I realized that actually German may be my favorite food in the entire world, man. Way better than Irish food, which is the other half of my ethnicity.
I'm very domesticated when it comes to food. I'm into miniature corn dogs, and that's about it with nacho cheese. But nonetheless, guys,
I gotta say, man, we're really good.
They are good, right? I told you.
Night.
Top right corner, your Norwegians are currently teamless at the moment. It's going to be Targa.
Yeah.
Targa, if I remember correctly, did very well in a DreamHack, or was it a WCS? Anywho, I saw an interview with him from Rachel's.
I mean, he's been posting slightly better results lately.
Yeah,
it's always kind of been the Targa line where you're just like, you can get so far and then just not make it. Not quite as bad as, you know, maybe a lot of people comment about how Bomber has that kind of little curse going, but Targa, he just can't make it to that pro level, and you know, I think it's more out of Bomber. He like disappoints, but from Targa, it's just he never gets a chance to disappoint.
Yeah, he never gets straight up there, and this is a chance, man. If he makes it into the, actually, if he gets third or second place, I believe he actually does make it into the qualifiers. He gets an invite at least. I don't think it's
so
pay for it.
First place is going to be an all paid out trip and flight
to
IPL6, and if you manage to score second place, you will secure an invite. You will be able to come to the event and compete. But you know, that's about it.
Looking into the builds, Hanfy has chosen a build here to go ahead and get speed really quickly. He actually went for gas right after his hatchery and followed up into a pool here, so he'll have speed, I guess, about a good 10-12 seconds earlier than his opponent here. That's always a good point to actually go in and snipe in a queen. If you can get lings that are a little bit overextended outside the national trying to defend him, and then you sneak around right when speed hits, you can actually go straight for a queen kill. So those little 12 seconds could be important here, so watch out for Hanfy. With him going for that build, it's really showing me that he likes to play a little bit on the aggressive side in his matches. While we had the safer build here from Targa here, where he actually went straight pool into a gas right afterwards. So he'll be able to get his speed a little bit slower behind, but he's planning on just sitting back a little bit. Maybe have a couple of leans go forward for his scout, but he just wants to get some drones out and head to that mid game that we've been seeing a lot of Zerg players go for.
All right, well, it is Daybreak, which is, as you know, you mentioned the mid game there, Tim, and it's definitely a scary point on this map. Players can go for their third bases. Suddenly, you're contesting with Ling Bane, trying to hold onto your third, maybe trying to kill your opponent's third. I can't even count the number of games that we've seen players recently actually trading third bases, and both players lose them. Targa, though,
I'm curious as to what Hanfi's going for.
Yeah, because he's got that Evo chamber.
And he went for +1, and he's falling up to a second gas here. Does he have a third on the way?
Okay.
Yeah, he's going to get really aggressive very soon here.
This is super interesting on this map, as I'm sure I mean, a lot of you guys probably are like, wait, really? Roaches?
Yeah.
Fast roaches? He could start a lair here in a second. But yeah, this looks like it's just going to be straight up simple roach pressure with no Galil, nothing. He's just going to make a ton of roaches, try to hide it. And this is all going to come down to the scouting from Targa.
Very cheesy strategy here, but one that is very strong if unscouted. And you can actually see why he went for that quicker gas, so he can get that speed out and he can deny those two first initial lings that came out. That was actually really, really important for him to go for the strategy. Now, if he wanted to go for that layer timing you were mentioning, he should be starting it a little bit earlier here.
Targa's going to get inside.
Well, Targa's going for his own layer here, actually. And we're just having a pure hatchery +1 attack.
Oh, but did he see it? Did Targa see the lair?
No. Targa is getting a lair. Hanfi's not getting a lair.
The roach warning, excuse me. Because Targa slipped some lings inside.
Did he get into it?
Yeah, I think he may have seen the roach warren there, and he actually saw the roach warren and the Evo chamber. So Targa's got all the information he needs from here. And we see immediately 4 spine crawlers have been thrown down. They're getting ready to finish up. His lair is going to complete as well. And, you know, this is an interesting point, Tim, because do you go for Glue Reconstitution here so you can actually chase the roaches down after Hanfy pulls back? Or do you just play it extra super safe?
I mean, yeah, there's always that possibility as well. But, you know, actually, Hanfy read that. He saw that scout come in, and he changed his build completely. He was scouted. He goes, okay, I've been duped. I've shown exactly what I'm going for. He immediately keeps up a lair afterwards, and then goes for a 3rd hatchery and got 12 drones afterwards. So after that initial scout came in, that was his, okay, I can't fight him anymore. So suddenly these roaches become defensive. He's actually going to put 3 down here at the ramp, most likely. Could have a few over here at the 3rd would be nice. I'd like to have about 2 to 3. They're really good if you tuck them into these little corners here against any ling pressure until you get reinforcements. But that was a good read. I don't know how Targa got the ling in there. I actually missed it a little bit, but because there was 2 queens here by Hanfy. He must have made a mistake. He had to go for an inject and didn't see the lings coming across with this overlord he had in the middle of the map. But 3rd hatchery now on the way for Targa, and this aggressive strategy that was going to happen, it's actually fizzled out just because of that 1 scout.
Yeah. And now we're at a point where it's actually really interesting because Targa made 4 spine crawlers. Basically, Targa made 4 spine crawlers. That's 4 drones. It's also 400 minerals that he fell behind because of this. So Hanfy, on the other hand, he made the Roach Worm, which is 1 drone, and he made the Evo Chamber and started +1 super early, so his lair's a little late here. But other than that, he didn't make that many units, Tim. His economy is actually in a great place right now. It's just the slower lair he's going to be penalized slightly for, but to compensate for that, he's got a fast 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, you're correct. As soon as he saw that scout come in, and he immediately just went ahead and went for the 12 drones. It's a bit risky because sometimes we'll have players that are going for a strong lean composition, want to try and catch which is in the middle of the field, and he could have died from there. But we just had Targa go, as you mentioned, for a defensive stature. He went for the 4 spine crawlers, and you're right, everything just evened out. But now we actually have aggression on the way. We have a ton of roaches heading to this top right 3rd corner, but roaches are there to greet right away. Speed is about to be queued up, but he's doing a good job of just defending. He's had overlords in the middle of the map here, so he sees his push coming in. For the most part, Hanfy's kind of holding control of his bases. He's not going to have any problems whatsoever with his push as long as he follows up with the ling reinforcement.
What a cool game of chicken to open this game up.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good way to put it.
So Targa now, though, is going to be catching Hanfy when he's out of position. This 3rd is going to likely fall. Well, it looks like he's going to go for the drones first. Of course, does have to kill off a roach. But Hanfy's counter here is going to be very powerful. But remember, Targa actually has 4 spine crawlers at home, and if he gets out any roaches to secure defense on these, we could have some serious defense go on for Targa at home, while Hanfy may not get much done.
Well, the spine crawlers actually, looks like a couple of them maybe moved down to the 3rd. They died off really quickly here. But nonetheless, the infestors do pop out. Fungals have been landed as well, and those roaches are getting pretty weak, but not weak enough. Pushing straight into the natural. Drones have been pulled out as well, and it looks like from here, Hanfy's going to hold this push from Targa, and he's actually pushed straight in the middle of the natural, and this is a really vulnerable spot for Targa.
I mean, this is all but over at this point. Targa, he's going to be spitting out a lot of roaches. We'll see if he can manage to finally thwart this off. What's the count on the economic damage? Here's the problem. Hanfy did that counterattack. Targa should have been able to hold, but oh wait. Targa was actually teching to Infestor at the exact same time that Hanfy's build hit, and he had no units to back up those spine crawlers, so the spines fell instantly. The infestors were all killed off. Targa taking serious damage at home, while Hanfy only sustained a little.
Well, Hanfy as well during that engagement went ahead and droned up behind all of this. So he's actually getting some drones out. Looks like he's going to be jumping up to 56 to 37. Now remember, when we were actually in the middle of that engagement, it was 40 to 39. Unfortunately for Targa, he had to pop out reinforcements to actually defend that push. So he couldn't drone up whatsoever, and now he's certainly behind, as you just mentioned. From here, we're just going to have +2 finishing up for Hanfy. He's going to start moving into more roaches as well. Has he thrown down his own infestation pit? No, he is falling up into a macro hatch. And if I don't see an infestation pit very soon, I'm assuming he's going to go ahead and use that macro hatch just to do a straight up all in, just keep reinforcing over and over and over again with that +2.
Yeah, he killed off all the infestors, so he knows the Targa can't really afford to make any new ones because he's got to work on pumping out roaches. If he instead, went for those infestors, well, I mean, he's got such a little economy at 42 workers to 55 right now. How is he going to manage to make roaches and infestors? He's not. Targa's forced to make out roaches right now. This is going to be really, really difficult. His +2 is so far away, and he's actually going to go for an attack here.
And Hanfy has a really nice concave setup already. If he just A moves past this, if he does A moves over this area, the concave will come naturally, and there it goes. Moving straight forward into his opponent. He's got that +2. His opponent just started +2. He doesn't have the upgrades available. He has to run away. The Overseer was doing a good job of following these roaches as well, so he was aware of Targa's aggression that was coming his way, and Hanfy just going to keep following up here. We got 3 overlords on the way, so he's just going to keep churning out roaches. And at this point, he has so many of them, and he has the upgrade advantage. He can start spitting a couple down down here in the bottom right, and they'll just slowly whittle down Targa, and Targa just won't have enough to hold. He's going to have to land a really good fungal, and he's starting to get the infestors out, and I like him actually bringing his units back down to the bottom left. It forces Hanfy to slow down time.
Yeah, Targa needs time right now, but he needs a lot of it, not just a little. 12 more roaches about to spawn here, only one infester. It will need to be a monstrously good fungal growth. Perhaps, if he force fielded all the roaches into a small ball here, Tim, then landed a fungal that hit all of them, that could be enough. That is not a fungal that is big enough to save Targa right now. This is an incredibly large quantity of roaches out of Hanfy. Targa taking some serious damage as roaches coming in for the flank. We'll see if he can do it.
He is really just hugging up on these roaches. Going to go and take them down immediately. He can start splitting off. He's taking a little bit too much damage, but when you have so many roaches, it doesn't even matter. And fungal is about to be available. Oh, no, it isn't actually. Did he actually research pending lands? I don't know. That may have been anything up here, but nonetheless, hatchery dies off right away. The drones do escape. And it's going to go ahead and chase him into the natural, but there is just a huge ball here. This is worse than a marine marauder ball. It's just so much damage ready to go as reinforcements again starting to scurry on in, and Targa is forced to GG. Hanfy is going to be taking game number 1 in this best of 3 series.
And he played extremely well there. Hanfy, man, opened up with that roach play, and we were talking about how it was kind of a game of chicken. He opened with the roaches and then dropped that third base, but that doesn't say much. It's very easy to cancel a third, and so that was pretty gutsy for both players, honestly.
Yeah, like you mentioned,
he could have been counterattacked.
I'm impressed by Hanfy deciding to switch up his play immediately. Once he saw a scout happen, once he knew that, okay, the gig was up, he immediately just switched it up. He didn't even think about it for a second, didn't even falter to do any pressure, just immediately put a third hatchery down, got 12 drones out, and it worked out for him because Targa just got really defensive. Targa's like, yes, I got this all in held. There's no ways for me to beat me. This is a free win. And unfortunately, it's not a free win. You have to be a little bit more active with scouting with that. What Targa could have done is he actually had an overlord over that Zonaga, start moving that overlord up to that natural, and at that point, if you don't see any roaches come before the spine crawlers finish up, cancel them and turn that into a hatchery. But unfortunately, he just really thought the all-in was going to come straight for him.
No, it's a great point. That definitely would have been an option for Targa. I think one of the biggest things we saw was also that Targa tech to infester when Hanfy was going for a big counter. And so he had, infestors are great, but they need support units. And all of his roaches were busy in a counterattack, so he had nothing at home. The infestors died. He lost a lot of drones. Serious damage that's going to put Targa down 1-0 to start the series.
Well, we're going to go ahead and get ready. Hanfy, can he actually secure it with a 2-0 and maybe move to the finals? We'll be right back with the IPL EU qualifiers.